Welcome to our podcast, Inside the System, where we will cover why justice isn't equal. This is episode 1, The Case of George Floyd, written by myself, featuring Devin Newfield. How are you, Devin?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm great. In this podcast, we're going to take a closer look at why justice is not equal within the justice system. We're going to take a look at the real case of George Floyd, including statistics from reliable sources.
The case of George Floyd was a powerful case in 2020 as it promoted the Black Lives Matter movement that was originally created in 2013.
You might ask yourself, why the case of George Floyd is so important within the community?
George Floyd was a black male who was harassed by a white police officer who abused his power and status in the justice system.
Let's get into it.
Cohen, can you explain what actually happened to George Floyd?
Of course. In May 2020, George Floyd was arrested in Minneapolis, Minnesota. This was because someone said he used a fake bill during a transaction at a nearby convenience store. During the arrest, the officer overused his force, holding his knee on George's neck for over 9 minutes while Floyd was on the ground in the police's possession.
During that time, he repeatedly said he couldn't breathe, right?
That's right. Not to mention, while this was happening, many bystanders were recording the situation, yelling at the officer to stop, as they could tell it was wrong, but the rookie didn't. This fastly spread over the internet, causing the social media community to go into uproar over the situation.
And this is when the protests really started to happen, bringing back the Black Lives Matter movement even stronger than what it was in 2013.
Millions of people were protesting across the United States and Canada, stating that Black Lives Matter and how the justice system needs to change, not only in the USA, but in Canada as well. Listen to this audio clip of George Floyd fighting while in the possession of the police.
I can't choke. I can't breathe. Please. Fine. My wrist, man. Please. I can't take that, man. I can't. I'm gonna lay on the ground. I'm gonna lay on the ground. I'm gonna lay on the ground, bro. I'm gonna lay on the ground. I'm gonna lay on the ground. I'm going down.
Oh wow, that is horrible. I cannot believe he was treated like that.
I know. What happened was truly devastating.
Anyways, are you saying what happened to George Floyd was not an accident, but was done on purposely because of his skin color?
Absolutely, Devin. The justice system is not equal whatsoever. Racism is a huge issue within the system. It is treating people unfairly based on their race, affecting what they can do and achieve in life all over the globe.
So are you saying this issue isn't only in the U.S.?
Exactly. Even though the case of George Floyd happened in the U.S., similar situations occur in Canada as well.
Canada too? I thought Canadians were nice and full of holding doors and I'm sorry's.
That's what many would think, but statistics show otherwise. For example, studies show that Black Canadians are stopped and questioned by the police much more often than white Canadians.
So like racial profiling?
Precisely. Racial profiling is a large issue. It is when someone is targeted based on their race instead of the actual evidence. In larger cities, Black individuals are more likely to be stopped multiple times compared to others based on the color of their skin.
That's actually crazy. So even if they did nothing wrong, they're more likely to be stopped, charged, and punished, which leads to bigger issues within the system?
You got it. Black Canadians make up a small percentage of the population, but there is a much larger population of Black Canadians inside of prisons. It starts to make me think, how many of them are falsely accused?
That's horrible. It makes sense why the George Floyd case matters so much, even in Canada. I'm sure it brought people's attention into the inequalities within the justice system, but can you tell me why it really happens?
For sure. Racism within the justice system happens for many reasons, but one of them is called systematic racism, meaning that the problem is not from one individual, but it is built up over time, spreading like wildfire.
Oh wow, I did not know that. What do you mean it is built up?
What I'm trying to say is certain people, especially Black Canadians, are getting treated unfairly. For example, when they are stopped by the police, charged, or even just treated in court based on a common stereotype.
That's simply just not right.
I know, it is truly horrible. And the worst part is, if you're stopped by the police, most of the time you're being charged, which can end up affecting your future.
Like possible schooling and work opportunities?
Exactly. And if you think about it, how is it fair if Black Canadians are stereotyped by the justice system?
That makes so much sense. That can't be right at all.
Racial profiling is a huge issue, and 9 times out of 10, it is caused from a biased point of view within the system.
So would you say our justice system in Canada is messed up and needs to be fixed?
In Canada, it's not necessarily messed up, but it for sure needs improvement. The idea of justice and everyone needs to be treated equally should be the main idea, but the reality does not always fall that way.
I agree. So the laws are common but are not always followed equally.
You got it, Devin.
So what exactly needs to be done for the justice system to seem more fair?
There's definitely a few things that need to be done, but one main idea being police and people in power need to be held responsible for their actions. Basically, this would decrease a bias and unfair opinion.
Does education play a role?
Absolutely. The more education and understanding someone has, they will know how wrong and a biased racist opinion truly is. Also, bringing the public's views into the justice system and allowing them to understand how unfair treatment is happening will change the views of those with power.
So do you think the George Floyd case helped?
I absolutely believe that it helped drastically, as well as made the public more attentive to what happened, but it also caused a movement that changed the perspectives of many.
That's what I thought.
To wrap things up, the case of George Floyd showed the world that injustice still exists within our justice system, but the case had the power to change people's views and how people should be treated when in contact with the police.
To conclude, we are not perfect, but our justice system is definitely improving at a drastic rate to allow equality for all.
Equality for all is certainly important within the justice system.
That was a really touching and important case.
It was. Change needs to happen. People need to be aware.
And that only happens with important conversations like this.
Thank you for listening to Inside the System. I'm Cohen.
And I'm Devin.
And we'll see you next time.